conquered everything we put in front of him. He exceeded our expectations throughout this year, and he put himself in a position where he deserved to be considered for a day like this. Then ultimately, as we got into planning this week out and planning the next series out, it lined up well for him. He's going to be on normal turn. He's throwing the ball well in 2 starts in AAA, and we're comfortable giving him the ball.
Aside from the obvious results, what is it that has stood out to you as you've watched him develop at such a rapid pace?
Yeah, so he's obviously got the fastball that plays, and that's been his calling card throughout his time in the minor leagues. What's impressed us the most is the speed with which he's expanded his arsenal in really effective ways. So he's added a changeup this year that's been really good, and we've seen outings that have shown, I think, tremendous maturity on the mound, where something's not working, he's then able to switch an approach and go to the slider more, throw a few more curveballs, and allow himself to get through outings really successfully, even if he's not following the exact plan that he thought he was going to follow when he went into the game. I think he's done that in AAA in both starts. He's had success in 2 straight starts in different ways, and that's encouraging to see.
Tony?
How do you see the rotation shaking out really for all of September now with Tong up for at least this 1 start?
We're going turn by turn at this point, and it's going to be a combination of what the matchups are, who we think match up well, how our guys are throwing, who needs rest, who doesn't need rest. I think in September, we try not to plan too far ahead, and we're going to go turn by turn.
One of the criticisms or I guess quibbles with Tong is his body type. To what extent do you think that matters, will affect him, could affect him long term?
I don't have concerns there. I think this is a very strong athlete who keeps himself in really good shape. He's 22 years old, and he's in a good spot right now.
Dave?
Dave, the second part of that combination you said was opportunity. And for you guys, it really just boiled down to a choice that you really had to get your best players up here to help you during a very important time of the season?
Yeah, I think as you roll into the last month of the season, you want to have the best roster you possibly can. And we think Jonah has a chance to be among that. He's earned the opportunity. And so we're going to give him the start and look forward to seeing how it goes.
How much has that wrestled from the development side too, Dave? I know you want to be probably in normal situations a little more patient than you were in this situation, but you had to. It was just more overwhelming to get him up here, obviously.
Yeah, this is fast. There's no question this is fast. He's pushed us on this because of his performance. We think he's ready for this. We also acknowledge that this has gone faster than any of us would have anticipated at the start of this year.
Howie?
David, are the promotions of McLean and now Tong mutually exclusive, or did anything that McLean accomplished in his first 2 starts relax any concerns that you might have had, along with acknowledging whatever energy the club and the fan base received from what McLean's done? Did any of that factor into, if you were vacillating between maybe it being too soon or not, bringing Tong up now?
I think they're 2 distinct decisions. I don't think it's fair to necessarily base the decision on Jonah on what Nolan may have done or not done. So Nolan's had 2 tremendous starts. He deserves a lot of credit for that. Had Nolan not performed to that level for 2 starts, I don't think that necessarily should or would have changed our decision on Jonah right now.
Joe?
David, what have you just seen from Kodai Senga over the last month or so, and are you confident that he can get this back on track?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the consistent quality of stuff in the zone. And when you don't have the consistent quality of stuff in the zone, you tend to nibble a little bit more. And I think that's what we've seen. We've had some count control challenges. I think he's done a really nice job of minimizing damage. We've had a lot of traffic in his starts, but he's generally kept us in the game and competitive. He's frustrated, right? He doesn't think he's pitching at his best right now. And so we're going to continue to work with him and do our best to get him back to a good spot.
Ron.
David, what information, if any, did the organization have that anticipated this offensive turnaround?
Well, throughout the entire season, we thought we had a good offensive team. And we've talked a lot about the challenges earlier in the season in leverage spots and runners in scoring position, men on base. And some of that, we talked about this, some of that was maybe at times we were pressing a little bit, getting a little bit too aggressive. But a lot of that was misfortune and some really unfortunate batted ball luck. And look, that's tough to stomach for all of us, right? That's not a satisfactory answer for any of us. But we did try to focus on what we can actually control. Are we swinging at the pitches we should swing at? When we do, are we putting them in play in ways we want to put them in play? And not uniformly, but most of the time throughout those stretches when we were having tough scoring runs, we were doing that. Like I said, I think there were times where we expanded a little bit too much. We started pressing. But especially early in the season when we were having offensive challenges, our approach was pretty good. And we weren't getting the results. And sometimes that can steamroll on you, but it can also steamroll on you the other way now. And hopefully we get on that run.
Manny.
Sproat struggled early on in the season, as we all know, but he's adjusted and has had a really good second half of the season, I guess we can call it. Why Tong over Sproat at this point?
Yeah, Brandon's done a tremendous job, and he's probably had as good a second half of season as any pitcher in minor league baseball. He's made some real adjustments. He's pitched great. We've talked about Brandon a lot, and this was really just what Jonah has accomplished, plus the timing of this, lining up, keeping him on turn on his normal rest progression, and taking the start on Friday. But we think Brandon's got a really bright future, and we're excited about it.
Laura.
What have you made of Sean Manaea's starts, especially in regards to him losing effectiveness, it looks like, the second time through the order?
Yeah, I still think we're building up stamina there. And we've seen periods of dominance with Sean early in games. And then it seems like whether it's one walk or one hit by pitch, and things can spiral a little bit. The good news is we are still seeing the pitcher who we saw last year. We are seeing the pitcher who is getting very uncomfortable, swings on his fastball, a lot of swing and miss on the fastball. His sweeper has still showed really well. But yeah, he'd certainly like to be getting deeper into games. We'd like him to be getting deeper into games, and my expectation is as we go forward, we're going to see that.
And just his last outing notwithstanding, what have you seen from Ryan Helsley?
I think Ryan, certainly threw the ball better yesterday. There's an adjustment period coming to a new team. We're asking him to take on a new role. That's certainly been well documented. When you don't have results immediately, it's natural to press a little bit. And what we're trying to do is help him exhale a little bit, take a deep breath. The stuff is still there. He's been good in this league for a long time, and he's going to be good again.
Thank you very much. Oh, Mike, last one.
Thanks, Heath. David, just one quick on Mauricio. As you know, Vientos has gotten hot here, and Beatty's been pretty consistent. His left-handed bat gives you good defense at third. The opportunities for Mauricio have been, fewer and fewer, far between. Just what do you envision for him going forward? Is there still a role up here for him through September? Would he, maybe go back down or come back up when you have that extra roster spot, something like that?
Yeah, I think we still believe this player is going to help us, and this has happened throughout the course of the season, depending on who's playing well, what the matchups indicate. We've had times where Mark didn't play for a stretch, where Marte hasn't played for a stretch, where Brett hasn't played for a stretch, Tyrone Taylor hasn't played for a stretch, and we're just in a stretch right now where the at-bats have been tougher to come by for Mauricio. We've also seen stretches where he's been one of the better hitters in baseball against right-handed pitching, and would not shock me at all if at some point in September we get on one of those tears again, and he really helps us.
Thank you very much, David.
Thanks.